Hey folks, welcome back to Bullets and Brass. Today we are talking about cleaning the AR-15 and kind of my thoughts on how much work you should put into this, because I see a lot of stuff where I think people are going way too in-depth, worried way too much about this, spending way more money than they need to. And I'm not sure how much of that is marketing, how much of that is a few people making a lot of noise. But I just figured it couldn't hurt. This is one of those things, a lot of new owners don't know what matters and what doesn't. And if you're looking at the marketing, there's a whole lot of products that you're like, must have, gotta have it, best tool ever. And I'm like, never used it, never needed it, never even felt the need to look one up. And that's true of a lot of tools related to cleaning in something like an AR-15. You don't need much. In fact, really, you can get away with almost nothing. I've got a small selection here of stuff that I use on a regular basis, but even a couple of these items you could probably get away without. So let's get into it. Number one, take one piece. This you're going to use with your solvent. This is a Vortex Eliminator. Wipe down everything inside the gun. Just wipe it down. You're not worried about getting it all clean. Just wipe it down with the solvent. Let it sit. You don't try to wipe it off. Just wipe it down. Use plenty of solvent. You're not trying to clean yet. You are getting solvent on all those surfaces that have carbon on them, have grit on them, have residue. Then, while that's sitting there, your parts are marinating. Or snake. This particular one, I grabbed a brand new package. This is a 30 caliber one. You'd probably want a 22 caliber one. Don't get a pistol one, even if you have a short AR. Get a full length rifle one. You want the extra material. You want the extra length. It does a better job. Run it through. I will at times skip all the other cleaning, open the ejection port, run it through, wait a minute or two, run it through again, and then run it through with this on there, the Slip 2000, instead of the solvent. And that, like 90% of my cleaning is now done. If I'm not worried about the bolt, if I haven't fired a bunch of shots, whatever, a little lube on the bolt and it'll keep going for a long time. Now that you've run the solvent through the barrel, okay, do that once. Let that sit. Come back. Again, paper towel, toothbrush. This is one meant for guns. It's got a little fine section on the back that's a little stiffer. Plastic picks. Don't use brass. Don't use steel. Like actual dental picks are a bad idea. These are good for getting into, you can put a little paper towel on the end. Get in there with some solvent. Clean in the chamber extension, the receiver, the barrel extension, which has the lugs. Get in there. You can use your pinky with some paper towel. Clean that out. It doesn't need to be spotless. Just good enough. Now at this point, you're actually cleaning. You're not just soaking it with solvent. You are cleaning. Now when I say soaking, by the way, I don't mean like gobs of liquid. I mean, you wiped it down and you left it. You didn't try to wipe it clean. You went swipe and moved on. Now at that point, come back, another piece of paper towel with Slip 2000 on all those surfaces you used solvent on and got clean. The reason for that is Vortex Eliminator will leave a residue. It actually leaves a slightly tacky residue. It's not something you want to leave in place. So go back to the Slip 2000. You're cleaning the residue off and you're leaving a sheen of lubricant on it. Slip 2000 protects, cleans, and lubricates. Great. You've covered all of your bases with that. Every metal part inside this gun can benefit from having Slip 2000 or an equivalent product. I'm not saying it has to be Slip 2000 on it. You could not use any grease or anything like that if you wanted. Now, when I talk about the rails, I am talking about this spot here, these spots here, and then the equivalent on this side, the other side. You can see there's a little wear here, there's a little wear here. There's more wear up here on this one, a little more wear back here, and on this side it's roughly similar. Those are where you want grease, okay? Back here, completely irrelevant. Here, completely irrelevant. In here, completely irrelevant. A little oil in here because these are gas discharge ports. A little oil in here doesn't hurt because the gas is dirty. It's got particles in it. It's got carbon fouling in it. Keeping this oiled keeps the carbon fouling from solidifying onto the material. Now, no point. This entire area, no need. Absolutely no need. Internally, no need. Clean it, but you don't need to oil or otherwise lubricate it other than as a protectant from rust. You do not want to grease or particularly oil the bottom here because your ammo is going to be sitting against this. When the magazine is sitting right here pressed against this. Up here, oil. In here, oil. Probably nothing. Each of these, you could do some grease, particularly the backs of the lugs. There is no pressure on these lugs when they rotate and disengage. They're being pushed forward at the same time, because it's like this when it's chambered, okay? They're being pushed forward at the same time this is sliding backwards. So they've got clearance to turn because this rotates 15 degrees as it slides, okay? So as this part moves back, this is being pushed forward. This spot here doesn't really matter. This spot back here is where all the work happens. However, this tail being dirty, completely irrelevant. It is not going to get dirty enough to be a problem. There is a wall here, okay? You can kind of see there's a shiny section. There is a barrier back here, right here. When the gas comes back through this gas key, it hits here and presses against this and against these gas seals, okay? Presses there, has nowhere to go. Well, this can move. This has room because there's only a limited amount of space in there and there's too much gas. So this starts sliding backwards relative to this. Keep in mind, that's pushing this forward. This part here is fine. It will self-clean as needed. If that gets too tight, the gas buildup behind it will clean it out. So these two are forced this way. And since this is already fully engaged forward when you shoot, it really can't go anywhere. It theoretically could move forward at, 10,000th of an inch or something. But it's pressed forward. This slides back. This rotates. Rotates. Goes from here to here and gets pulled with it. At that point, you finish up with this and the lubricant, the Slip 2000 or other product. You are effectively done. At that point, I would get rid of any paper towels with solvent on them, throw those out, take another one with Slip 2000, and just wipe down anything that got dirty, like the muzzle device. I would wipe down the outside of the receiver. I might wipe down my charging handle extras areas, not the channel that actually got dirty, but the outside of it. I might wipe down the back here. You actually get gunpowder residue back here. It comes through the charging handle area and comes out the top, and you'll feel it on your face occasionally. It's one other reason to wear safety glasses. That's about it. I don't get too far into it. I have a question for people, and obviously not beginners. This is going to be for you guys that do this a lot, have a lot of rounds downrange in a lot of different scenarios. The carbon scrapers. How often do you actually need to use that? On the back of your bolt, on the face of your bolt? I saw one the other day that specifically mentioned that it had the right spot to use it on your firing pin. And I cannot imagine a scenario where I would need to take a scraper to my firing pin to clean off carbon or any other buildup. My firing pins, a little bit of CLP, even not even solvent, and they wipe perfectly clean. Like I literally, piece of paper towel, wipe, done. It's fine. I have never had that be an issue. The face of my bolt, I don't want to take a scraper to it. That could mess with my head spacing if I did that over time. And honestly, I've never needed to. A little bit with a brush and some solvent came clean. Now keep in mind, I don't fire full auto. I don't usually fire several thousand rounds between cleaning. So if you're in that environment, I can understand that your bolt face may get bad enough that you're actually affecting your headspace in the other direction, right? And that it's so bad that just soaking it in some solvent for a little bit and then cleaning it is not effective. But I can't picture a scenario where I need to worry about my firing pin. Yeah. If that has come up for you and that actually was an issue, please let me know what you did. What was the scenario? What was the cause of that problem? I'm curious. I have personally never used one of those scraping tools. I have never felt the need for one. I have never been in an environment where that was a tool I thought I needed. And I see them advertised a lot as must-haves, as tool of the year. And there's a million versions of it. And I don't get it. Don't assume that just because a tool is advertised as a must-have or, most popular, that you really need it. AR15s are pretty simple to work on. There are advantages to having a chamber brush and a chamber mop and a pistol length barrel rod, cleaning rod. There are advantages to that. AR15 chambers do get very dirty. It is something you do want to clean. You can have issues with the gun. I usually clean it out between the bore snake, the brush, the end of the brush, my pinky, and some paper towels. I've not had a problem. It really has not been a factor for me. I have those things. I have used them in the past. And honestly, I've still got a bunch that I've had for a decade now because I just don't use them. I bought them, I used them, and then I found that it just didn't matter. So that is it. Take care, have fun, stay safe, keep them cleanish,